tricky course, a mixture of tight drives, elevation changes and water hazards. Well, the weather's pretty hard to predict around these parts, but so far so good. We're hoping it stays this way. Very pleasant temperatures, good golfing conditions. I'm Richard Kaufman. Alongside me in commentary is Sophie Walker. Sophie, this afternoon we're going to be watching the top three on the rankings. Who out of those three's impressed you most?
Well, the two of them, Manon de Roy and Bronte Law, they could be said to be veterans now on the Ladies European Tour, multiple winner. But what about the rookie from Switzerland, 24-year-old Chiara Tambolini? Has shone on this tour. She came third in Kenya in the first event of the year, and since then has had 5 top 10s and a win. But now she is in number 1 spot, and let's see how the rookie handles it.
Yeah, going to be a fascinating watch. 132 players here this week. Play got up back underway around 8:30 this morning, including that trio we've just mentioned. But it's another player who's really emerged from the pack, Kirsten Rudgeley, in her second year on tour, 68 on day one.
Opened her account with 2 birdies, then a bogey, and then rolled this one in on 18th, her 9th hole. She went out in 2 under par. Yeah,
very familiar with the region here. This is where her uncle lives, so it's her base when she's in Europe. Bit of trouble at the first after getting to 6 under, but this was a great save.
And this kept the momentum going. The front 9 is a lot more wider, some would say easier. So she made par there, went on to the second and made a birdie on the par 5.
Yeah, so that's taken her to 7 under par, which is leading the way by a couple of shots from the Australian, who's looking for a breakthrough Ladies European Tour win. It's 2 ahead of trio players now, because Carter and Bream are out this afternoon. They're at 5 under par, but Marta Martin, the leading Spaniard now, 3 birdies in her first 5 holes to get to 5 under par. Overnight co-leader Elina Numenpar, couple of bogeys, 1 birdie on the car for the Finns, so she's at 4 under par, which includes last year's Women's Irish Open champion Smelia Sonabu, her first events in Scotland, and Ene Maisonier has just birdied 17 and 18 to turn in 33, so she's got the supposed easier front 9 still to come. Scoring pretty similar, Sophie, it seems, to what we saw yesterday morning.
Once again, we had some rain overnight, but when they teed off this morning, it was gorgeous blue sky. So the course, they said yesterday, dried out very well in the afternoon, and I assume it'll be the same today. But it'll always be target golf here at La Sella.
See Manon de Roy there at 3 under par. We're going to be keeping a close eye out for her. Blanca Fernandez making her professional debut, one of the 15 Spaniards in the field. There's the defending champion going nicely as well at -2, Nuria Iturrios. And the cut line at the moment sits at level par. Could well fall there.
I think you need to go under par. The wind is southeasterly, there might be a club wind up there, but I think anything in the red, you'll be safe for the weekend.
There's Annabelle Dimmock, who was victorious on the last Ladies European Tour event in Ireland. And here are those players at level par, including Celine Urban, playing on her home course. Bronte Law, who is now second on those rankings, and Shannon Tan there as well. Level par for the day after a 72 yesterday, winner of the opening event of the year. So yeah, top 60 in Tide make the weekend. So those at 1 over par need to get a wriggle on. It really is a lovely setting here at La Sella Golf Resort. Players voted it as the best tournament on the Ladies European Tour in 2023. 14 months since the inaugural edition, which Iturrios won, and a bit of rain last night, but it's all cleared very nicely. Sunny conditions. Nuria Iturrios never far from a smile on her face, going best of this trio.
Yeah, she mentioned how she really likes this golf course because she grew up on a tree-lined course with mountains and hills surrounding it, and she says those small targets really help me on a wide open golf course. I struggle to focus.
So this is the hole they're coming to, par 5 9th to end the front 9.
It's 482 yards. The tee shot is straight and then it snaps to the left-hand side. If you can hit the ball over 250 yards, you'll go and try and access this green. But the penalty area down this left-hand side, it weaves its way, staying down the left, and then it cuts across the green. The tree that we can see there on the left-hand side blocks all second shots, layups, or if you're going for it. But the majority of the field will lay up short of this hazard here. 100 yards is your layup number, and then the pin today is 11 on, 4 from the left-hand side. So it's a front pin with a green that sits from back to front.
Trickier, or the trickiest of the par fives. Only been 3 birdies here today. 3 bogeys, 2 birdies for Houston in this second round. 8 and 9, tricky end to the front 9.
8's the second hardest hole on the golf course. It's a long par 4, and then Nuria mentioned how she likes the fact you can go for these greens in 2 on par 5s, but you can't on 9 really unless they do decide to push it up.
8th on the order of merit, Shannon Tan, breaking down the barriers as far as women's golf in Singapore is concerned.
And she's the best driver of the golf ball on the Ladies European Tour. It combines accuracy and distance.
Okay.
Yeah, they finished their round here yesterday, and Shannon Tan birdied 2 of her last 3 holes for a 72. 1 birdie, 1 bogey so far today. 28-year-old from Mallorca. The win here was first since 2019. 4 times a Ladies European Tour winner now.
Just want to take it at the bunker in the distance. The run out is 280, so it's not an issue. A little bit down the right-hand side.
Timber. Just needs a bit of luck of where that falls.
Yeah, that went back into the trees. So she's on the right-hand side of a dogleg from right to left.
So back to the 10th hole. The trio at the top of the Ladies European Tour rankings. All pars on the front 9 from Bronte Law. And it's maybe a little close to the wall than she would have liked, but it's fine. Here's the leader.
Birdied the second, this to birdie the 4th par 3. Oh, she thought the grain would just pull it to the side, and it didn't. That's a missed opportunity for Rudgeley.
Says she's feeling about 80%, Kirsten Rudgeley, after her round yesterday. Not been feeling too well this week, but top of the leaderboard makes you feel better, doesn't it?
A couple of bunkers down the right-hand side on this 10th hole, so De Roy hitting a fairway wood, because she sees her shape from left to right, and this hole works its way from right to left.
"27-hole complex. It opened back in 1990. Very impressive yesterday. Helen Bream, just her first start as a pro on the Ladies European Tour, in that group at 5 under. Disappointing really for Tambellini. Got to 4 under par yesterday through 9 holes, back at 1 under now. Still plenty of time on her side, but when she got to -4 through 9 holes, we thought, here we go.
Absolutely, and I would say the back 9, you've got your 2 opportunities of a par 5, 2 par 5s to come, and then the rest you'd be quite happy with pars because of just how tight it is compared to the front 9. So she's going to have to balance this round and be patient with it, because there is only realistically 2 holes that you can push on.
This is the 8th hole. As you mentioned, second hardest hole on the course. This is the group of Jana Melikova, Pauline Roussin-Bouchard, runner-up in Ireland a couple of weeks ago, and the leading Spaniard out there, Marta Martin. Bless you.
Sorry,
go on.
I'm just saying you can see the wind just coming downwind now. We've got a southeasterly wind, which is why it's warmer than it was over the last day. So this par 4, 402 yards, water all the way down the left-hand side, but at least it is downwind.
Yeah, lovely bit of water there. And if you go to the end of that water by the green, actually, I didn't go in there, but apparently it's signed as the long-legged bat forest. So there must be a home for the bats back there.
Oh, you could have been the Batman.
I could have been. I wasn't going in. I'm not that brave, but yeah.
It looks like Pauline is going to be first to play here. Lost out to Annabelle Dimmock in her last outing on the Ladies European Tour, a playoff at the Irish Open.
Yeah, she said even though she lost, it was a week to take so many positives from.
This one back up the hill.
A little bit of a misread there from the French player, who with that second place finish moved up to 12th on the order of merit. Second runner-up finish of the season it was for her as well. Finished second behind Bronte Law in Morocco.
What a start it's been from Martine. She bogeyed her first hole, then picked up 3 birdies after that. So 2 under for the day and 2 back. This is a positive putt. Yeah.
Well, we've had one misread and now one misjudgment. Perfect place for Tambellini down the hill here at 10 to try and get back on the birdie trail.
Oh, this is on a good line, front right pin. Oh, all over it.
It's funny, isn't it? This is the trickier of the 9s, isn't it, really? You look at the scoring, but she actually turned in 32 yesterday, then played that front 9 in 38. So maybe she doesn't see it that way.
Great pin for Manon de Rooij. Front right pin for the Belgium. Just easing across this one. Nearly.
Yeah, like Tambellini, you know, such a great year. 1 win, 5 top 10s for the Belgian. Bronte Law, the season seems to have maybe stalled a little after what was a fantastic start to the year. She's playing this and the next 3 events in a row.
Didn't quite get the jumper there, did she? Yeah, easily say that. I think the summer for a British player is so important. There's a lot of pressure that's put on yourself. She did get the wrong side of the draw at St Andrews and got blown off the golf course. And
similar story as well at the Women's Scottish the week before.
And so I think as well, we know that because we were out there. If you just look at scores, you're like, oh, she's had a really bad summer. But when you're playing as well as Bronte is, there's always a reason why. So Iturios and Hewson have laid up here on this par 5 9th. And this is what I said, if you can hit it 250 yards, then you can get there because it's 204 to the front edge. And that is on Shannon Tan's number right now. But look what stands between her. You better get some height on this fairway wood.
It's one of those where you stand there, you think, yeah, I can get there, and maybe the longer you stand there, the more the doubts maybe start to creep in. But this time last year, she was, at Texas Tech, an amateur. No real thoughts of turning pro and playing on the Ladies European Tour. After that misjudgment with the first, Martine for the one back.
A three-putt bogey for the Spaniards, so she now falls into a tie for 5th spot down at -4.
That was a little careless. Said she didn't actually play well yesterday, shot a 69, but the result was good. You prefer that, wouldn't you, really, than playing well and not getting the result? See the Mediterranean, that's how far we are from the east coast of Spain. In other words, pretty close.
First look today at the Austrian Emma Spitz.
Yeah, disappointing day yesterday for Emma, but she has fought hard so far today. Did just drop a shot over at 9, so level par inside the cut. Oh, she hates that. I think she thought it was in the bunker, but at least it's avoided the sand, and we'll have a putt for birdie.
125 yards, would expected more. Tries to draw it, starts it too straight. Maybe that just sums up where she's at the moment, because walking around this golf course earlier this week, she'd have been one of my favourites just of how straight she is off the tee. And maybe she's getting a little bit frustrated because, like Kirsten Rudgeley, she's one of those that you think, well, they're due a win.
Whereas Shannon Tan made it one win in one start in Kenya right at the beginning of the year. So she's waited a while.
Just over 200 yards front edge. She's going to have to go over that tree in front of her. Oh, that's a bit heely, low and left.
She's got away with it, really.
I thought she'd set up for a high cut, but she was set up for a draw, wasn't she? Anyway, it worked out in the end, Shannon.
Yes. Doesn't matter.
She doesn't know, I don't think,
how. Bronte disappointed with her second here. It looks like it's going to be a 10th successive par to start round 2. So winning the trees down the right, managed to get it out to here. Third shot now at this par 5 for Nuria.
Doesn't hang on. Down on the low point on 9 there. Not a lot of green to work with for her pitch.
Kirsten Rudgeley now at 5.
Back left pin for the Australian. Oh, takes it out. Throwing darts there, Rudgeley.
De Roy. This is an outside chance, you would say. Played last year on the LPGA Tour. Didn't quite have the year she was hoping for, but has been blossoming again back in Europe.
Houston needs to get something going. She's 3 over par. This green sits from back to front, so a chance to play aggressive.
One of those, Alice Houston, isn't she? When she gets her iron, goes on one of those tears. She's more than capable of turning it around. Winner in Switzerland a couple of months ago, her second title. Should be a formality. And this for a 3-shot lead, just catches the left edge. Rudgeley moves to 8 under par. Got a bit of support out there. Uncle has been walking around. Mum Donna's here. The cousins as well.
Tambellini down the hill from right to left for a birdie on 10.
Yeah, little fist bump there. Feel-good factors back on the back 9 for Tambellini, up to -2. But at the moment, it's the 23-year-old from Australia, from Perth, Kirsten Rudgeley, who has made every cut this season. In fact, this will be cut number 29 in a row that she has made, 28 of them on the NET. She's not missing the cut from there. She's 3 shots clear. That drop shot from Marta Martin, taking her in that group now at -4. Good to see Smelia Sonabu, isn't it? Having maybe a little tough time, you know, being in the spotlight this year, but back with Mikolai, her boyfriend, on the bag.
Yeah, I mean, she pulled out of the Irish Open as a defending champion and has had some struggles, real struggles with her game. So mentally, it's got to be great to have that support mechanism out with you and on the golf course. So good luck to her.
Well, it wasn't a bad layup, really, from Shannon Tan.
It just has to be careful here. She's on the downslope, and the ball will want to kind of come off low and to the right, which is the opposite of what Shannon needs right now. This flag is on 11, so there's enough green to work with. It's more the lie that's going to cause an issue here. Yeah, just slides it under it. Gets so much more spin when that ball's below your feet and the connection's good.
The 11th hole, which still on the back tee today, so playing over 330 yards, albeit 12 yards downhill, but be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when they should push the tee forward.
They're laying up short of the bunker that we can just see there. It's 240 yards from the tee box, but downhill. Similar type of shot required here for Arturius, just lay the blade open.
Really good.
Oh, come on.
That really is hanging.
You'd have thought with the side spin and the slope, that would have helped. Maybe the grain is just moving it the other way.
When she won last year, she shot 11 under par. That was through 3 rounds because we lost a round because of the weather. I mean, you look at the scoring right now. I mean, Rudgeley, what, she moved already to 8 under. You would think it might take more than 11 under.
It's important not to mess up what is a simple layup here. You can easily switch off.
Birdie putt for Alice Hewson. Frustration continues for the English player. 7th on the rankings, and a big week coming up next week for her. Sophie, is that right?
Well, it's a hen do, and they're staying in Spain. She doesn't fly back till Tuesday. Being organised by Marion Scarpnord.
That could get rowdy.
Yeah, rather you than me. Although if you miss the cut, just start it early, right?
Yes. Join me when you can. So Shannon Tan, chance to get under par for the first time this week.
Inside right.
Birdie's the 9th for the 2nd day in a row, and she's moving in the right direction. Emma Spitz just avoided the bunker, wasn't happy with the 2nd.
Can make up for it with a putt though. Just didn't hit it hard enough. Well, it's only 127 yards, the par 3.
Yeah, good.
Rudgeley with a layup. Terrible tee shot there.
Well, I mean, how on earth has she got there?
She must
I mean, is she
have batted it.
I don't. Well, that would have been an interesting watch. Well, we'll never know. And she'll be pleased that we didn't see it, won't she, Kirsten? Who leads the way at 8 under par. And no one else out on the golf course better than -4, including Anaïs Messonnier, who has missed her last 7 cuts in a row. Hasn't made a cut on the Ladies European Tour since May. Talking about Rudgeley and the 29 in a row she's about to make. 29 in a row, I mean, that's very, very good, isn't it, Sophie?
Especially with the difference in variation of golf courses, countries. I mean, this week Kirsten was sick. You know, she didn't come out on Wednesday. She was in her bed. So you're going to have all those different bad days at work, I suppose, be it from many other reasons. So that consistency is incredible.
Because I said to her yesterday, I said, oh, you know, yeah, I was asking a few questions. You know, you must be pleased because you haven't missed a cut this season. And she looked at me like, I said, you'll be all right, you're 4 under. She goes, actually, I haven't missed a cut in 30 tournaments. So she's very aware of it as well, although she miscounted by 1.
Not enough stick there for De Roy.
Yeah,
I thought Hugh was going to look at you as if to say, it's not about making cuts, Richard.
Yeah.
It's about winning. I think that's the thing, especially with the rookies. It's not, don't look to make a cut, because if you miss it by 1, you're not playing the weekend. You got to look higher.
Yeah, I think she's ready and wanting that first victory.
She plays a lot of golf with Min-Woo Lee, so he's a confident lad. Bronte's second shot into 11.
Needs somehow to break this par run, but body language suggests it might not come here.
It wasn't the easiest pin to get through from that angle. She only had 6 yards over the bunker and 4 from the left.
It took a little time away from competitive golf since that Women's Open, whereas Tambellini teed it up at the KPMG Women's Irish Open and leapfrogged. Bronte Law went from 3rd to 1st on the order of merit.
Better angle here for Tambellini from the right side, pin on the left. Everything slopes from that top left to bottom right. So long and left, then spin it back.
Just didn't get the spin, but beautifully played again.
We'll hold this type of length put on the first to save par. Not this time.
Paid the price for what was obviously a fairly woeful tee shot, really. The lead back to 2 with Rudgeley's second bogey of the day. Well, she birdied the 10th hole. She knows how to play it. So too does Sophie Walker.
The 10th hole is a par 4, slight dogleg from right to left up the hill. This bunker is about 220 yards off the tee. Now you might think, well, I'll stay away from that and go down the left, but there's out of bounds running down from the tee all the way to the green on the left-hand side. So right half is what the players will be aiming for. That bunker beyond me is 270 yards away from the tee, so only the longest hitters won't be hitting driver here. 3 wood seems to be quite a sensible play for most. The green is protected by bunkers short, left and right, and then further up the green there's runoff areas to the right and left. But for me, the tee shot is the most important, and then you can find that green.
Well, there is the resort, La Sella Resort. You can see some of the apartments, the hotel complex where all the players are staying on site this week. They're well fed, well looked after.
Breakfast is good, isn't it? And I love the fact in Spain, breakfast finishes at 11 o'clock.
You could almost roll straight through to lunch, can't you? Well, doesn't miss too many fairways, Shannon Tan. And doesn't miss this one either. For a moment, it looked like it was up in the air.
Over 80% of fairways in regulation, and then that is replicated into the green as well. Down the left-hand side's good play on 10, opens up that front right pin. Wind direction today is from left to right, is a southeasterly. So you just want to play a draw into that wind to hold a straight flight.
It's going to have to be a big back nine from Houston if she's going to play some more golf here after today. See the driving range just to the right as we look it from the 10th tee.
Driver also for Iturrios. Oh, that could be awkward. She could have to stand in the bunker there for a second shot. A big drive of 270 yards, but not in the right position there.
So some problems for the defending champion. Birdie putts here to come up on the 11th green. I like the train that just rattled past, so did that putt.
Third shot into 9 for Martin. 110 yards.
Looks like she might be getting that birdie to wipe out the bogey at the last. Be a 4th with that front 9 for the Spaniard.
She thought that was her time. It's now going to be 11 pars in a row Friday afternoon for Bronte Law. I mean, if any player would deal with that well, it'd be Bronte, wouldn't it? Patience, Bronte.
Well, I mean, you hear that a lot at various courses, but everyone's been talking this week about patience, staying patient. Tambellini, frustrating front 9. Birdie 10, this would be the perfect start to the back 9. No. Never had that on the right line. So she remains a little bit off the pace, 5 behind the leader. And there is the defending champion, all smiles as she was, what was it, 14 months ago, back in July of last year, when she picked up her 4th Ladies European Tour title.
Look at this. Oh, good heavens. We are seeing some great golf, aren't we?
From Stuck. Oh! Take that. A home win for Nuria Iturrios, her 4th win on the Ladies European Tour, her first since 2019, and she has come from behind to win the very first La Sella Open.
Yeah, she trailed by 4 shots going into the last day and was 5 behind with 7 to play. She told her caddy at the time, Santiago Simamarca, it was time to get aggressive, and boy, didn't she. She eagled 12 and, well, we saw, got the job done.
Oh, careless there by De Roy. 3-putt bogey, falls back to 1 under par. Poor tee shot from Houston. Got a long way in here. So 1 left, 1 right. Short-sided of itself on that pitch shot as well. Looked a bit quick, hooky off the tee, didn't it there?
Yeah, it looked like she didn't get hold of it, yeah.
maybe a 6 iron in when most players would just be having wedges.
Well, what a year. First player from Singapore on the Ladies European Tour, the first female player to win on a major tour, the first Singapore player to play in the Olympics, and now become the first to make a cut in a major.
Seeing who it is to play first, it's on Shannon Tan, gap wedge from 110 yards, downwind from the left. Held on to it. Just kept that face slightly closed, which is understandable when the ball's that far below your feet. There's a certain wind going up, probably the first we've seen this week, isn't it?
Look at this. So awkward from Iturios here.
Has to swing it like a baseball bat, and it's going to hoik left from 100 yards. It's not bad finding the green. She's on the top layer, but so easy. That heel of the club just sticks in the ground, especially on this Bermuda.
Well, there's been some good rounds out there today, and you might note the name of Elena Sudov now moving into the top 5. She has had 7 birdies on the card, throw in a couple of doubles and a bogey as well. It's been very eventful. She's just birdied 6 and 7 to get herself to -4, 3 behind the leader, Kirsten Rudgeley. One would assume Marta Martin's about to get to 5 under. Great chance coming up for her at 9. And Amy Saunier, 3 under par for her round. Best score out on the golf course at the moment, -4. There's a few players that are on that mark. Dorota Zalewska and Cassandra Alexander fighting back after being the wrong side of the cut line. Harang Lee bogey free on that back 9. Very good effort from the Spaniard. There is Zalewska, first pole to play on the Ladies European Tour. Trishat Chinglab, last year's #1, starts the day at 2 under par. She's out this afternoon, as is Blanca Fernandez, who had a very nice round yesterday, 70. Shannon Tan and Van Dam will start today at 1 under par, also amongst the afternoon starters. Level par right now is right on the cut line. Alice Houston's already chipped up here. See, she's just about to mark her ball. A little bit of cloud over on the mountain. It's a perfect spot, isn't it? Right, bordering the national park of Montgo, which is a Mediterranean forest. You saw how close we are as well to the Mediterranean coast on the east side here of Spain.
Iturios will be first to play, and if you look at her 4 wins on the Ladies European Tour, 2 in Morocco, 1 in Dubai and 1 here. And I mentioned on the range, I said, do you like the grass? And she's, oh yeah. And I said, well, you know, your 4 wins have all come on tree-lined Bermuda grass. You played very well in Tampa when you won the Aramco Team Series team event down there, and she was so unaware of it, and that's kind of the person she is, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you know, I just bounce along
and smile.
Yeah, as I say, all those golf courses, hot golf courses, tree-lined, and that grass that most Northern Europeans hate. This one down the hill all the way, and will anything, just keep tracking past the hole. Very steep slope this one for Aturios. This will be a good two-pot.
Some work there to stay at 2 under. Well done. So 5 under, leading the Spanish charge. 15 Spaniards in the field, which makes up more than 10% of the players out there over the first couple of days.
Yeah, only 2 inside the top 20 though. Harang Lee, another one. Down the slope for Tan, right to left.
Some 9 months, hasn't it, Sophie, for her? I mean, Olympics, majors, winning.
She went home actually the last couple of weeks to Singapore and went to stay with Grandma, which I thought was exactly what you need, isn't it? A bit of home comfort. She went out to eat some street food and she said, Sophie, I had a week off golf and the discipline it took me to do that. And that was the week of the Irish Open. And I said, oh, well done. She looks at me and said, I watched the Irish Open though.
Of course she did.
Lives and breathes it.
Good save in the end for Bewson. But it's birdie she needs right now if she's to make the cut. Although one of the good things this week is that, which is very rare on the Ladies European Tour, is if you miss the cut, you do get some money.
You do get your hotel paid for. And it's a gorgeous hotel at that.
And you get €1,000.
And you get 1,000, do you?
Yeah, €1,000.
I could have made a living out of that, the amount of missed cuts that I had on the Ladies European Tour. Might still be out there now.
I think this course would have suited you actually this week.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'd love a go on Monday if anybody's listening. I always played quite well on Mondays. It was Thursday through to Sunday where I struggled.
Good save as well. Struggling since the tee shot, but she's made a 4 out of it.
That was a really good 4. You look at Hewson's as well. Now out of position off the tee.
Lovely shot into 7 from Kirsten Rudgeley. This to get back to 8 under par and open up that gap at the top to 3 shots again.
Oh, sent into the middle with authority there.
Starts the week 21st on the Order of Merit. She's had a few chances to win on tour before, particularly last season in Ireland and in Spain, the Spanish Open. Well, we mentioned Shannon Tan winning in Kenya. This is, there's 6 events left of the season, including this one. The Australian Women's Classic. There was no official result there because of the weather. They only played 1 round. There's Chiara Tambellini, who we're watching, and Manon de Roy and Bronte Law, all on that page, sitting themselves off to excellent years. Helen Breen lost a playoff at the Dormy Open in Helsingborg to Perrine Delacour. And there's Marta Martin's breakthrough win, came at the Czech Ladies Open. Team Nadeau winning the team event, and Nastasia having a very good first round yesterday. Some notable wins there, particularly those 2 for Lydia Ko. And French Open next week, and this is how the season will finish, Sophie.
You head over to Asia to, well, more than a couple of weeks in Asia, and then Indian Open, one of my favourite venues, Riyadh, and then down to Andalusia to finish the year off. There's some air miles up there.
Another fairway found. Top 10 of the Order of Merit, where Shannon Tan sits at the moment, guarantees you a place at the final stage of Q-School for the LPGA Tour. Alice Hewson also sits inside the top 10.
The last few years, Alice has been in and around that number, hasn't it? And it would mean a lot just to secure that, so you don't have to go to the second stage, you go straight through to finals. A layup with a 3-wood for Hewson here down the hill, short of that bunker that we see at 240. That's late right. Oh, it's gone right in front of that tree. We'll have to see if she's got a backswing there.
She's obviously struggling with her ball striking at the moment, Alice Hewson.
Yeah, somebody that's normally so very straight, isn't it? Had one left, one right. Wind down off the left. See that strong left hand grip there from Aturios. Driver. Interesting to see where that one finished.
This is the par 5 12th down the right hand side. This is a third shot in for Tambellini.
Loads of green to work with.
That's the ball of Manon de Roy there as well, so both those players will have decent looks at birdie. Par 72, playing today just under 6,200 yards. Playing a little softer. It was a little bouncier last year, as you'd expect being a bit earlier in the year.
Beautiful there by Law, and I think that might break the run of pars.
Well, let's hope so. It's a beautiful afternoon. Temperatures sort of the mid-20s Celsius, creeping up to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of breeze as well. I mean, it's just perfect golfing conditions.
It's exactly what you would expect from Spain, and this is a traditional Spanish golf course. Front nine is at the lower level, slightly more open, and then as you kind of head up the hill at the bottom of these mountains, that's where it starts to get quite undulating. You see on the far side of the screen, that's another of the 9 holes and the ones that we play here. And then as you come to the away from those mountains, as we look at it now, that's where the tree lines come and the corridors make those fairways so tight.
So first for the 4 at this par 5 is Chiara Tambellini.
We'll move from left to right. That can hit this one firm.
Well, could have done, but didn't. Heads, hands on face.
Went to Mississippi University, so he's very comfortable on this heat and grass.
That is the ball of Alice Hewson. Good partnership with her caddy Rory.
It's the tree root that's the issue, isn't it? Not so much the tree trunk.
Please, the phone without sound. No, I just pulled my off.
I think they're waiting for a referee here to get a ruling. Not sure what for. But we'll go back there and catch up with De Roy, looking to make amends for the 3-putt at the last.
Well, it's a shock to her system as well as ours. I mean, De Roy is the best putter on the Ladies European Tour this year. She hasn't demonstrated that in the past 2 holes.
Shannon Tan now.
Can she get to this left pin? Flicked that 9-iron over, didn't she? So it's got about 120 yards front. Has to play it low. It's more of the worry, isn't it, of if you're going to hit a tree root and a round impact here. Has to take this one shallow and low. Punch shot for Hewson. It's not a bad effort, but it's hard to do on this grass. It doesn't want to run at all. It's a golf course that needs to be flown all the way rather than chased.
Surely breakthrough time for Bronte Law. Patience pays. Under par. We'll move to what is the penultimate hole for Kirsten Rudgeley. Tricky 8th.
Downwind, second hardest hole on the golf course.
And a bit of a wide.
It's the anti-water shot. Water all the way down the left-hand side at 402 yards.
Just missed the fairway here.
Yeah, she went for it, didn't she? I think she had driver. I think she's gone over that bunker at kind of 260. Big drive from Iturios. Has got 60 yards pin here. Sat up like a coconut. Can land this one 55 yards.
That's beautifully done. So aggression's paid off there for Nuria. On the search. It is lunchtime. Just coming up to 1 o'clock. Marta Martin now at 10.
With it being downwind, it just won't come back, will it?
Well, some holes, of course, some trouble this week, and this is probably top of the pile, 13.
Only 2 birdies yesterday.
One of them was a chip-in.
Played at 4.77, harder than the 18th hole, which is a par 5. So left half of the fairway required. Flag today's on the left, but anything down that right-hand side, you just don't get a look in. It's not even about middle of the fairway, it's about left half, if not left rough.
Yeah, Tambellini's kind of borderline where she is there. Hewson having to scramble for par again. She might yet make it, but it's birdie she needs where she is on the leaderboard.
De Roy next to play on 13. And that one's right of the fairway. We can see the spotter there. She could be chipping out.
This is the 11th green.
Just needs to pay this one a bit of respect, downhill from left to right. Straighten up at the end.
One or two struggling to make headway in this second round. Talent was a couple over for the tournament, has got it back to a 1 under, but no one really at the top end. Looks like they're getting it too close to Kirsten Rudgeley. He's 4 under par for the round today after shooting 4 under yesterday. Only one player out on the golf course better than that -4. That's Dorota Zalewska, who's 5 under for the round and moved to 3 under par for the tournament.
Nice look here though, she's more pin high. It's a flatter put in pace, but it will move from right to left for Iturios. Took driver off the tee, flew it over the bunker at the best part of 70 yards in. Is to get it to -3. Tucked it straight away.
Well, shake of the head says it all, really. Don't see that from professional golfers too often, certainly not from that range. How did you like that?
She's one of the best at short game on tour. Has all the shots. Sometimes she has too many, Kirsten. She makes it harder than it needs to be, but not there. That was on the 8th hole, looking to make par. This is up on the 11th. Hewson also for par.
Well, she's having to work hard to stay at 3 over. Couple of good scrambles. Back a hole to the 10th with Marta Martin.
For back-to-back birdies. Stay up. Try.
Yeah, you look at the scoring yesterday, and the best scores came in the morning. We had a couple of 5 unders in the morning. We had 1 in the afternoon from Elina Numenpar. Unfortunately, the Finn's gone back to 1 under par today. But the wind certainly feels like it's a little breezier this morning than it was this time yesterday. But it hasn't stopped Rudgeley doing the business at the top. 3 ahead now of Martin. Eleanor Sudov putting together a super round. She's coming down the last 4 under par. Meissonier, all pars so far on her back 9, the front 9 of the golf course. Smelia Sonobu coming close to the end of her round. Ayaka Uehara, the oldest ever rookie on the Ladies European Tour. 40 or 41, the Japanese player.
Makes Lauren Coughlin look young at 31, being the oldest rookie in the US team for America last week.
And there is the Ladies European Tour #1 right now, Tambellini at -2.
Mananda Roy was down the right-hand side, has chipped it into the front left bunker. Tambellini from the middle of the fairway, pin middle left. Nicely done.
Yeah, if you can get 4 fours at 13 this week, you'd have made some progress.
There was a lot of talk about the pin position, and because it was cut so far right yesterday, I think that will be the hardest pin that they'll find themselves in.
There's been a couple of birdies at 13 today. See Bronte Law's ball just short of the green there. We'll move back to the 12th.
So this is now downwind, southeasterly, 475 yards. Keep it down the left half. There's a tree in the distance is what you'll be aiming at. Works with Ryan Lumsden, a Scotsman that lives in Adelaide. Spent a couple of weeks with him at the Scottish and the Women's Open. Ryan from St Andrews, so it was a dream of his to go back, and obviously one of his pupils in Shannon Tan playing out of there. Those 2 trees on the left-hand side is the line. Carry on the bunker should not be an issue at 220. Houston will be wanting to hit a better tee shot than on 10. If she hits that tee shot, it might find that bunker. Alice Houston watching this tee shot. It's down that left-hand side, no worries at all. She'll have 220 yards to the front edge there, though. It's a bit of a spinny drive for the Englishwoman.
Some wonderful backdrops, aren't there? Lovely views and vistas. All 3 different 9s having very different feels to them as well at La Sella. Oh,
Yeah.
middle wicket.
Well, that's the line. But I didn't expect anyone to hit it that straight. 261 yards into the tree there for Nuria Torres. Unlucky, because that could have skirted across the path. She'd have had inside 200 left.
So from a hole which is very birdieable to the rather more tricky 13. Law just had her first birdie of the day, and that's really nicely done.
Well, both 12 and 13, their stroke average is the same, but one is a par 4, the 12th, what Bronte's on, and the other is the 11th, which is the par 5. So 11 and 12 playing similar in score.
Yeah, that's the mountain view. The other way, of course, is the Mediterranean coast. We're close to Denia, where you can actually take a ferry. It takes a couple of hours and takes you to the island of Ibiza. Maybe Alice Houston will be there for the headwind.
Oh, imagine. She doesn't actually know where she's going.
That could be it, couldn't it? Known as a bit of a party island. That's nicely done by De Roy.
You know, get yourself to a Shire. You can go there in the day. I know many of our golfers don't like to do late night, but I kind of want to go on it now.
Well, it's been a tough day for Elina Numan-Parr, but this could finish it on a high. "41 years old, the Finn. Lovely day yesterday. Talking about how, you know, financially he's had a tough year this year, and just trying to go out there and just play golf, not think about the result, and she's safely going to be in for the weekend. That's charged by Tambellini.
She stands over putts and hits them so quickly that it's very not very often I say to a player, I think you should play a tad slower, because we like to see a quick pace, but it all looks a little bit rushed sometimes. It's that need, that she's so excited and so keen to hold the putt. When it gets downhill, she can do stuff like that. And also knowing that, you know, when fall's good.
That we've seen from this golf course, you can make lots of birdies, you can easily throw in a double. It makes it pretty exciting, really. You wouldn't think it's a golf course where you get out in front the way Rudgeley is right now. You can just comfortably sit there.
You can't steer it round this back nine. Right edge putt for par. And what a par that is. Was right off the tee. Had to chip it out down towards the front of the green and got up and down there. Showing her experience, DeRoy.
Going to be Tambellini to putt for par before Bronte Law.
One under par for this back nine. Birdied the 10th. 11 and 12 got away from her. Would have expecting a birdie or two from those, but this now is for par. And well done.
And you talk about, you know, how far back is, you know, going to be too far back. Well, bear in mind that Nuria Turrios was 5 behind with 7 to play, and she ended up lifting the trophy. Now, I mentioned Eleanor Sudov, who was putting together one of the rounds of the day. So many birdies, Sophie.
She is 2 under par for the day with 2 doubles, and she's had 3 twos. So how's your iron play? Birdies.
Let's catch up again with Pauline Bouchard.
Well balanced golf swing, that. Excellent result.
As will this be if Bronte Law can make her 12th par of the day to go with that birdie she made at the last.
Had more trouble getting it out of the hole than getting it in the hole there, didn't she?
She likes a good
lucky
comeback, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Well, she 7 back, going down that back nine in Morocco.
Just caught the slope, didn't get enough turn into that left pin, Martin. But she still is Kirsten Rogers' nearest competitor on the golf course at the moment. She's -5. Rudgeley is at -8, playing her final hole of the day, this 9th hole. Par 5.
Contemplating what to do here, the Australian. No club in hand yet. Harry Caddy has taken one out now.
Well, we're mentioning about wind direction. I mean, that is a massive drive by Rudgeley. I mean, this is nearly 290 yards off the tee.
Yeah. Low room of flag going 10 on.
150 front. Pin 11 on.
Gone left.
I think that's found the sand. The ball was below her feet and she just hung on to it, didn't she? Quite get through that one because of the significance of that lie. That's going to be difficult, really, really difficult up and down from there. It's kind of not even a greenside bunker, that one on the left.
Shannon Tan now. And a rather easier par 5, but she's gone left as well. And that is in a lot of trouble. You know, even the easy holes, so-called easy holes, can trip you up.
for birdie on 11, with Rudgeley in trouble on the 9th hole. Okay. The simplest of pars, so she remains 2 under, 5 under total. From Madrid, has only played this golf course a few times as a junior. .205 for Iturios into the par 5, going for it in 2. So that's what I love about this golf course, the opportunity to get after par 5s. That one straight, just not quite the right club, but not too bad there.
You can see the different 9s we've got here, 27 holes in total. They're all named after different winds. So the back 9 we're watching at the moment, that's the Yebeg, which is named after the Sahara wind. Front 9 is the Gregal, which is named after an ancient wind that carried sailors to Greece. And then there's the Mestral, which is the 9 we're not playing. 14th today, playing 186 yards, back left flag. Laura really going for it and has given herself a good birdie look.
That's such a good shot to find that back quadrant. If you miss that long and left, it's an impossible up and down.
Roussin Bouchard to try and get a little closer to the leaders. And does so. Had a decent putting lesson last week, didn't she?
Went to see Brad Faxon. She said I've only seen him a couple of times this summer because of our schedules. Headed back over to America to...
Let's see if Tambellini can find that back left shelf. Oh, and that's going to be awkward from over there.
It's in between for her. It's not hybrid, but it's a really big long iron, her longest iron in the bag. And being long there is no good because you're in that Bermuda and then it's a downhill chip.
Being over in that bunker is not too pretty either, is it? This is, though.
That's gorgeous. That's the hotel there, swimming pool that looks onto the practice ground on the right-hand side, clubhouse front left.
Have you been in the pool yet?
I've been out the pool.
Have you been? I've not been at the pool yet. Rudgeley, this is her full shot, so what we saw was her third. You're right, Sophie, to point out that that would have been a big drive for her, but now struggling to make par at her final hole. Now, what does Tan do here? I mean, is the bunker a good result? You don't want to go long.
You see what she's got in between. She's got about 10 yards of land between bunker and flag. It's more the fact that she's on the wood chipping, so she doesn't quite know how it's going to come out from there. If that's on the grass and on the upslope, it's not that hard a shot for a professional.
How would it normally react out of this wood chip? Would you expect it to kick on?
No, you'd expect it to come out soft. So what you do is you almost shut it down and then it comes out fiery. If you go and play your normal shot and you get too much wood chipping, it just comes out soft and it'll drop in that front bunker.
But there is trouble beyond, isn't there? You don't want to... Anyway, we'll see. Sure, Shannon will work it out.
Yeah, it did. Front bunker. You got to play it like a bunker shot from those wood chippings. You just can't trust it. There's nothing worse than that indecisiveness as what's going on underneath the golf ball there.
The mistake was the second. Should never really be leaving it at that spot. So a birdieable hole is now turned into a potential bogey hole for Shannon Tan. Hewson's got to start making birdies.
Well, she had 220 yards front of the green, so has advanced it 200 down there and has to nestle this one in close. There's two decent birdie chances on 12 and 18, the par 5s, and she needs them and a couple more. Oh, that was nearly a brilliant start, just lipping out for eagle. So we'll give her that. That's one back. Nothing wrong with a short game, is there?
No. Single putting every green. De Roy also finding that bunker. Yeah, well played, but lengthy one still for par, which just shows you how good Bronte Laws was. Rudgeley to avoid a drop shot at the end of what's been a terrific couple of days.
Grain pulled it across, so that is a 6. First 6 of the day, 3rd bogey of the round for Kirsten Rudgeley.
7 under par, that is the target right now. What is the halfway stage for Rudgeley? 68-69. Tan having to scramble at this par 5.
As long as it's not plugged, it should be okay.
You know, if the lead is 7 under par, I mean, I'm not saying Helen Bream and the like can't go out this afternoon and better that, but let's say the lead is 7 under par, the cut comes at level par, everyone in the field will think they've got a chance of winning.
Stood in your way?
I don't think 8 under par will be leading. Virginia Elena Carter's the best player on tour into greens, and Helen Bream's stroke average this year 69.
So you think 7 under will be beaten easily?
Yes. Oh, no, I'm not going to say easily, because I don't want to disrespect Kirsten Rudgeley. She had a good round. I do think it'll be beaten, yeah.
Okay. This will be birdie for Hewson.
Very good.
She's 2 over now.
Very good.
Cut still very much sitting at level par, although creeping towards the +1s.
The issue with this one is the first few yards are into you, as in into the slope, and then it will drop down and it'll be quite swift from right to left and downhill as it gets in and around the hole. But this is an eagle putt for Iturios. That jumped. Needs to get over, then come down. Oh, it did well for her, didn't it? Get out the way, Mum. Oh, not enough. She just wanted the best view of her daughter. It's absolutely understandable.
Yeah, Sella on the bag. It's a bogey, though, for Tambellini. Back to 1 under par. She goes. Like De Roy in that bunker. Unable to get up and down. Also in the bunker. Back at 12. Tan, this for par.
If there was one player on this tour that I would like to hit or make me a par, I would pick Shannon Tan. If my life depended on it, it would be her. She almost bores a golf course to death.
Yeah, she talks openly about playing boring golf.
Boring golf wins you a lot of money.
And she has found out in her first year as a pro.
Don't leave the hole here. It's hitting the ball so well off the tee. Didn't take advantage of that big tee shot on 11. Doesn't want to make the same mistake twice. Keep this one inside the hole, inside right. Gets it. Nice little birdie there for the Spaniard.
So the defending champion lurking again. They've been working on that. Little Sella. So De Roy struggling for par. Tambellini in for bogey. Oh, and Bronte Law a whisker away from what would have been a wonderful 2.
There's only been 4 birdies on this hole today, which just shows how good that tee shot was.
Last year's Women's Irish Open champion for an eagle finish. Well played, Smelia Sonobu. So that should take her back to 4 under par. Just dropped a shot at 17, so back-to-back 70s. And very much amongst the contenders. That 70 matched by Elena Sudov, who had 7 birdies in her round. All pars on the back 9 for Anaïs Messonnier. But it's Kirsten Rudgeley, 2 rounds in the 60s, who has a 2-shot lead over Zalewska.
Hewson on the 13th hole, having picked up that birdie. 404 yards, left-hand side required. Doesn't get it. So 70% of the field found this fairway yesterday, but only 23% hit the green, which suggests that it's not just about this bit, it's about where you hit it. You've got to keep it left half. The tiniest of corridors. See how the trees eat in on the left? It forces you right, but you've got to hit a draw. You've got to hook the left-hand side.
Just change the type this one. Okay.
Have the same issue. Next up, Shannon Tan, having had that par save from the bunker. Winner of the first event of the year in Kenya, around a golf course which was very tight, warm, a bit more windy than it has been here at Sella though. Back into the wind, this tee shot.
That's in a decent spot for Shannon Tan. And it's a decent spot for us, isn't it? You can see the Mediterranean in the top right corner. The Montgo National Park out towards the left, the mountains. What a lovely spot this is, in between the cities of Alicante and Valencia. Kirsten Rudgeley done for the day. She can go and sit by the pool.
Safe as a sunbed, Kirsten.
Dorota Zalewska, I mean, what a round that is. She's putting together, what, 7 under par for the day, 8 birdies, Sophie. I mean, that's as good as anyone's been doing. She's threatening that course record, 63 from Anne-Charlotte Mora last year.
And is finishing her round on the front 9, so as long as she negotiates the 8th hole, things could be looking good for the pole. It'll be some effort to get herself to 7 under.
First Polish player to play on the Ladies European Tour. Not really threatened to win this year, Zalewska, but well, this could be the week. Player came through Q School. Where's those nuts? Where did I leave them? Well, we've been watching the progress of Manon de Roy and Bronte Law and Chiara Tambellini, all 3 paired together. This one of 6 events left on the Ladies European Tour season. So we're getting to the point of the year where, you know, trying to be number one is getting interesting. Alice Hewson struggling to make the cut here. Shannon Tan we're watching as well. 94 points, give or take, between Lauren Tambellini. Just over 100 points between De Roy and the Swiss at the top. So all can change again here this week. 500 points for the winner. Maria Hernandez has also been out on the course this morning. She's going to miss the cut. Here's Bronte Law.
Second shot to 15, 18 on, 8 right. Found that front bunker, didn't get all of that strike. It's quite a difficult pickup actually on 15 because you're on a significant downslope, so just didn't get into the bottom of the ball there to get the peak flight.
Been a tough day for Jana Malakova. No birdies. I'm assuming that was her third shot there.
Yeah, that has to be her third shot.
She'd love it to be her second.
Yeah.
It should be her first birdie of the day for the Czech, who went well yesterday, round of 72, but struggling to make the cut today.
Now this 13th hole it's one of the highest scoring holes I've ever seen from a par 4 on the Ladies European Tour. 4.77, and with no wind. The hardest hole on the golf course. 70% players yesterday hit the fairway, but only 23% hit the green, and that is because where Shannon Tan is fine. She's down that right as we look at it on our screen. Hewson found the fairway, and look what you've got to face here. Ball miles above your feet, and you've got to try and hit a cut. Wind into the players' faces as well today.
Yeah, you can see those trees, they're hanging over, aren't they? It's not necessarily the tree stumps themselves, it's more those branches that just cut across.
And the thing is here, you know you can't chase one up there because of the grass, because of it slightly uphill. So you need to pick a club which will fly to the front of the green, and the pin's on 18. Try and get some right to left movement off such a high sloping lie. So she's got a 6 iron here.
And she's at the stage of her round 2 over par, coming towards the end of round 2, knowing the cut line is probably going to be around level. Oh dear, that's in amongst the trees. Did she shank that one?
It came out close to the hosel, didn't it?
I think that's the end of that. Off to the hen party. Is that a case of trying to cut one?
Yeah. Trying to cut one with your ball above your feet. It's a ball above the feet, you're supposed to swing shallow and into out, and she's trying to try and do the other way. That ball squirted out to the right.
Not what Nuria wanted to see, although she's a little bit closer.
Well, she's hitting the ball a long way today, Nuria. We've seen her carry the ball 260 yards, and she's on a flatter portion of this fairway. The trees are closer to her, so that means that it's easier for her to hit underneath them. Got herself about 130 to the front. Look how open she's standing with these feet. Way left here. Going to try and get about 30 yards of movement left to right.
It didn't come. So one right, one left, and both by a long way. Marta Martin splashing out of the sand. That's at 12, the par 5. Now this is where, I mean, it's not such a hard hole, is it, Sophie? Just all you've got to do is put it down the left half of the fairway. If anyone can, it's Shannon Tan.
Pin cut second tier. Just rolls onto the top of it. That's not a good effort there from Tan.
That's disappointing. So many players would have just begged to have that tee shot.
Sure about the yardage there. It's not often that you see her miss by that much, is it?
No. Pauline Roussan-Bouchard to take another step forward. Second tournament in a row she is lurking. She's up to 3 under par. We're catching up with the Pole, Dorota Zalewska, who hasn't stopped making birdies. And we join her, and of course she drops a shot.
Well, she's had 2 2s on the par 3s and now thrown in a 4. So the bogey drops her back to -4.
6 under par for the day.
Good up and down there by Martin. So that was a birdie.
Good try from Manon de Roy. Bronte Law went in the bunker here. So she's got work to do to avoid a first drop shot of the day. Just worried about stepping in a playing partner's line. By the way, that birdie from Marta Martin took her to within 1 of the lead. Now, I mean, what do you do here? Hit and hope for the best?
Aim at a tree. Normally when you aim at something then you're playing badly. Been aiming at a flag all day and missed them, so why not just aim at a tree? There we go. Chip out.
But they're in 3. It is a back 9 which just can throw you off course so easily. Needing to bounce back, Tambellini dropped a shot at 14.
Nearly. The grain, you can just see the grain being more visible now. It's 20 to 2 in the afternoon. You can see the rough edge of that hole there. Just caught Tambellini's ball and kept it out.
First time playing as the #1 player on the rankings. Chiara Tambellini. Wow, how did that get through?
She was down on the 12th there, wasn't she?
Yeah. Well, it's all rather messy, isn't it? This makes me feel good about my game watching this.
I wouldn't want to see you play this hole, Richard.
Maybe later in the week, give it a go. Might have to take a few golf balls with me. Shot number 4 then for Hewson.
Around that 60-yard number here. Has to carry it 55 to get to that top level, but anything over 65 it runs away. Short game has been the best part of her game today.
Yeah, just some weeks you haven't. It's just not there, is it? And unfortunately for Alice Hewson today, you know what we've seen, she just hasn't been striking the ball at her usual excellence.
But like you said, it's a golf course that can really bite. And Turios here is also playing 4 on a scruffy lie. 7 yards of green to work with.
So that left for bogey for the defending champion, who's right there at the moment. 7 under par leading the way, Nuria at 3 under. Spanish winner last year, and a Spaniard has just moved a little closer to the top. Marta Martin, the only Spanish player who's won on the Ladies European Tour this year. She went in Czechia with that birdie at 12. She's moved within one of Kirsten Rudgeley at the top. Zalewska now back at 4 under par. Harang Lee has just birdied 3 and 4 as well, so she's got herself into that ever increasing number of players at 4 under. Back to the horror show of 13.
Unlucky for some.
Certainly is. And a much lengthier birdie putt than Shannon Town would have been hoping for. This won't be easy.
Misjudgment on her second shot. She was in position A and flew it long, and flag's on 18, green's 38 long. Keep it down the left-hand side, and then it'll go into the slope on that last maybe 5 yards. Well, a great tee shot. Poor second, superb third. And you will be gaining on the field with a par here on 13.
When in the bunker, Bronte Laws, this to avoid a bogey. Well done. No drop shots today from the former Solheim Cup player, played in Glen Eagles 5 years ago now. Yeah, the race has begun, sort of in earnest, but I don't think the qualifying points count yet, do they, for Solheim Cup?
I'm not quite sure.
No, should know that, shouldn't we, really?
Anybody want to help? Don't know who the new next captain is yet.
No. There is speculation.
Anna Norquist and Mel Reid are the two. I believe Charlie Hull has already said she would like Mel Reid to be captain.
What a putt. She has single putted every green on the back 9. Made the scorecard look respectable. She's kind of hanging in still with that putt. Terrific. What a great bogey that is.
She single putted 9 as well, didn't she?
Yeah. Not often you're smiling like that after a 5.
It's one of those where it's like, I'm hitting it everywhere and getting it up and down, but unfortunately it's just such a course that off the tee it's claustrophobic, and if you are hitting it poorly, there's just nowhere to hide.
To stay inside this, just to make a 5 for Iturios. Matt Hewson.
Two good 5s. You don't often see a fist pump for a bogey, do you?
No, but could be important come the end of the week. Just a second bogey today for the Mallorcan.
You'd probably take 9 shots for 12 and 13. That's the equivalent of level par for this field this week. The ease of 12 and the difficulty of 13.
So she wins that hole. Solid
Fairway,
par.
yeah, fairway, green, 2 putt. Shannon Tan all over.
Catching up with Dorota Zalewska.
That clipped tree on 7. It's come up short. Front bunker, I think, on 7 there.
The tree. She hit the tree now on 4 and back in, then in the bunker.
Just a layup here for Tambellini. Downwind as well. Par 4. That needs to get down. That's in the trees. Oh, there's a penalty area down there as well. And it's in the penalty area, which you probably be able to play it. Oh dear, Tambellini.
So trouble at 16 for the Order of Merit leader. Let's go back and have a look at the 14th.
Welcome to the 14th tee box. Do not let that view distract you, because this is a meaty par 3 at 187 yards through some trees, a corridor of trees, so it will be hard to judge the wind. Many players will be taking off a head cover and hitting hybrid into this green. Now the bunker on the right hand side, the green works its way around that bunker and sits quite heavily from back to front. But if you are down the left hand side and you miss this green, you'll find yourself in the Bermuda grass. Now, if you're from the Northern Hemisphere, you do not like Bermuda grass. If you went to college in America on the East Coast, like Florida, that will really help you. This grass, the ball sits down and it is hard to get the right reaction on the club face. So if you hit this green, you are going to be delighted and gaining on the field.
Well, Shannon Tan's hit the green, but it's going to be a very long putt from down there.
It's fine. That's fine there. If you are going to go after this pin, you better make sure that you hit the green, because that's its heaviest sloping point there from the back, and it brings it out of bounds left. Thick rough is also down the left.
But it is that point where Houston, 3 over par, has got to try and get to this flag. You mentioned it in your talk there that hybrids might be required.
Yeah, I think if she was doing well, it would be an iron to the middle of the green. But this is going to be the equivalent of a 4 iron in order to try and get back to that left pin. That is going to be quick.
And you mentioned as well about that Bermuda grass, just so hard to know how it's going to react out of there for Houston. Back at 2 under now. Nuria Iturrioz.
She's going with 5 iron. 183 yards, slightly downhill and downwind, so it's more of a 170 shot today. Fine also.
Tournament of the Year 2023 as voted for by the players. I mean, if you think about, you know, the event we had a couple of weeks ago, the KPMG Women's Irish Open as well, a couple of really well-run events for the players to enjoy.
It is, but this is a well-run event, and the players are playing for proper money this week. It's €1,000. That's what it used to be. €1 million.
$1 million. I mean, 150,000 for the winner.
Yeah, and I think that is, you know, you're going to get a new tournament on the Ladies European Tour. This one, Taiwan as well. They've really set the standard now, and these players are going to get what they deserve. Yeah.
Well, in a couple of weeks, we'll be at the Aramco Team Series event in China, in Shenzhen. Celine Boutier and Ronan Yin sitting in that top 10 will be there. 3 Americans on that page who were part of the winning team at the Solheim Cup last week. See a few of them who are in action on the LPGA Tour this week as well. Leonie Maguire had a decent round yesterday as well.
Hannah Gregg was on the driving range today. I'll tell you in a minute. Let's see. That looks like Marta Martin.
Well spotted.
That's her 3rd into 13. She didn't drive it there.
She'd
looking
love to
get up and down. Yeah.
Go on, you're going to say?
Yeah, sorry, Hannah Gregg's on the range, and she's got the Solheim Cup hoodie on, the American one. and she was taking it off. I said, you can't, yeah, you take that off like this. You can't wear that on this range. And she said, I'm just reminding everybody of the score last week.
You would, wouldn't you? Zaleska to avoid another drop shot. Excellent save, that is. The pole having a dream day.
Deep breaths. Don't feel like you're hanging on. Think you've got 2 more rounds to go.
Literally on home territory for France's Celine Herban. She is back at level par. Well, might not be for much longer. That's a beauty into 15. Knows this course as well as anyone. Attached to this venue, lives about 5 minutes from here. So this is where she comes and practices and plays in between events on the LET. Tough 14th. Birdie putts of salt to come here.
They're from the wrong level, but they're on the putting surface in 1, which is kind of the hard bit done, you would say, on this 14th hole, because it goes back towards those rocks and that wall, and it goes within the trees. It looks tiny from the tee box. Coming up 2 tiers to a back left pin, so uphill. It'll move from left to right, and as Artorias hits this, just watch Tan run in just to see the line. It's more of the pace, I think, you'd feel as well. I mean, she looked like she smacked that, and it's only gone a couple of feet by.
Shannon Tam was certainly an interested spectator there. See those trees just being blown around a little bit. The players this afternoon heading out shortly, 10 to 2 in the afternoon. So in the next 45 minutes or so, the likes of Helen Bream and Annabelle Dimmock will be starting their second rounds.
10 to 15 kilometres an hour, they said it could get to this afternoon around this 2 o'clock mark. This will be quite a nice visual of seeing how steep that 14th green is from back to front. See how short that practice swing is there. She's taking it too far back, so I'm hoping that it won't be replicated in the actual swing. Yeah, totally different.
Well judged again, like the putt at the last. A couple of really good lengthy putts from Shannon Tan.
I spoke about missing the green left here. You've got to die this one in the fringe. Weight down on your left-hand side, swing with the slope, and hope it comes out well. That's gorgeous. Oh, I'm surprised she didn't ask those ball markers to be moved.
Another 1 putt coming up.
Yeah. So this will be 5 1-putts in a row for Hewson.
But 3 over par, just looking to see if the any sign the cut line might move to 1 over par. At the moment it's still very much stuck at level.
Inside that ball marker of Shannon Tan's, it should move from left to right.
part of the golf course where you're having to dig deep. 13 and 14.
I think you get through this run, even through 16, because it's a back pin today, and then try and pick up birdies on 17 and 18, a short par 3 and then a reachable par 5. So all 3 players making par there on the difficult 14th hole.
So this is that 16th hole you mentioned. Just about getting on the right level there, De Roy. There'd be a much-needed birdie if it comes here for Van. Just fallen back to level par, the cut line, so she's at -1, where she gets to sleep in her own bed. Big week for her. A lot of support she gets. A lot of expectations when you're playing at your home course.
Yeah, she's moved here, hasn't she? And is now basing herself on this east coast of Spain.
Yeah, she said fell in love with the place as soon as she came here. Actually lived here now, what, 4 years. This will be her 3rd shot, Tambellini. She may yet escape with what would be an extremely unlikely par. That's an excellent shot. And this is also a par putt for Marta Martin.
Very good up and down.
Yeah, sticking in there, isn't she? 1 shot off the lead, the Spaniard.
Tight fairway, this. Fairway slopes away, trying to catch the downslope, and just doesn't quite do it. Downslope could get starting at about 220 yards, but that wind's back into the players' faces now, so that'll make the ball obviously not go as far, maybe come down slightly steeper and stick in. I'm going to try and keep the flight down and make it go around that tree that we see on the right-hand side, or go over it, take it down that left half of the tree, go over it, and that'll take you down the middle of the fairway. This is a very intimidating tee shot, just like that 13th hole. Runs in the same direction as it. Houston does get that chase. Carries it slightly further, but will be on a steep slope away from her there.
Yeah, that's what gives you an idea. You basically a blind tee shot.
Bold play, this.
Not even Helen Breen can see over the hill, can she? Now, as you say, driver.
It's got to be left. We'll see.
It's got a thumbs up.
Well, shit, driver down 10 when everyone else is hitting hybrid, has done the same down 15. Hey, the champion knows something we don't.
Got up and down from the bunker at the last, Bronte Law. And that's got to get a little bit of a wriggle on to get on that level. So Tambellini and Law both struggling for par. Par 3, 14th now. Marta Martin 1 back.
Hybrid. Sticks in back left. That's some shot.
They're playing a lot of confidence on this course designed by Jose Maria Olazabal, the Masters champion. Martin with that putt to join Kirsten Rudgeley at the top. Helen Bream, Virginia Elena Carter amongst the afternoon starters. Zaleska 6 under par for her round, 2 holes still to play. Harangley 3 under par for her round, so some good scores out there. I saw Samantha Bruce just headed out. She started bogey birdie, so the player from the Philippines in that group at 4 under. Sophie Brigner had 4 birdies in a row near the start of her round to help her to a 68. And Amy Sonnier, another one who's had a very good day. And one or two of the bigger names up there. Cassandra Alexander, 67, which is at the moment the best of the day from the South African, who played so well at St Andrews, top 10 at the AIG Women's Open. Good turnaround from Amy Walsh to make the cut. There's Alessandra Finale, who turned things around nicely yesterday to shoot under par. Good try from Madame de Roy. Thanks for her birdie, so just a par.
2 holes left, currently 4 under par. Can't miss this left.
At the flag, any good?
Oh, so good.
Well, this is where Nuria Torres' drive finished.
Oh, it's obviously hit a tree. She has got a long way in. At the top of the hill. Has to hit over a valley to a back right pin. So it's down the left. That's okay. Stayed up high.
Got away with it a couple of times on this hole now.
She's not scared of this course. I said about how it can intimidate you and you start steering it. But she's like, no, I'm just going to stay aggressive with it.
Yeah, it certainly worked on the back 9 in the final round last year. Law struggling for par. First bogey of this second round.
Just look how much of a slope that Shannon Tan is facing here on 15. She's got about 110 front, pin on 18, and will almost have to step through this shot.
Flag just over the bunker as well from the angle she's coming at.
Yeah, I think from here, you know, you've got more chance of maybe missing it left because she's so conscious of not being short right in that bunker. It's easy to kind of overdo the play. Ooh, look at that reaction. She's not quite sure, it's fine.
Well, she hasn't been in this position for a while. Middle of the fairway. Chance to maybe attack a flag with a second. Needs some birdies fast. Time is running out for Hewson.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about with Shannon Tan's shot. You just turn that toe end in. See how moist, the amount of moisture in the air, the fact that she's got a weather glove on, a rain glove.
Pity. That would have been a great save. Another drop shot then. Tambellini slipping back to level par. Start of the day 2 under.
Now on the cut line.
Yeah, there's going to be a few nerves shredded over the next hour. The players we were watching trying to conclude their second rounds. We're watching the morning wave. Players from the afternoon wave just heading out. And what a good day it's been for Marta Martin. Said she wasn't at her best yesterday, but scored well, round of 69. 7 under par is leading the way. Kirsten Rudgeley said this is a putt to join the lead.
And if you look at her play this year, she's had a third in New South Wales Open, been very consistent in the fact that she made the cuts at the Women's Scottish Open and the AIG. And you know, for the 28-year-old, it's just been one of those amazing years.
Yeah, life-changing.
Keep this one down the right-hand side and let the grain pull it back. It's an interesting putt, that, because it looks left to right and then the grain comes into it.
It's been hard work, trying to be bold and aggressive. Ploy not come off Iturios yet. Train line that kind of runs through the middle of the La Sella Resort.
But don't worry, if you are visiting here, you don't hear it in the hotel room, do you?
You don't really, no, you don't hear it in the hotel. You don't really see it out on the golf course either, really.
Look at that surrounding. It is heavenly.
And we're very fortunate. It doesn't happen too often. We get to stay on site as well. And talk about peaceful rooms, they are very much that way. Don't often sleep that well when I'm on tour, but that hasn't been the case this week, thankfully.
And I've wondered, you've been going to the gym. Is it the players are in that same gym as well?
They are, yeah. Thinking, who's that bloke with pale legs keeps turning up?
147 downwind. 9-iron for Manon de Roy.
Sumptuous from the Belgian, who is also on that cut line.
Another one putt. Gave it a try.
So all 3 players here, kind of at the point of the round, level par, where you can either put yourself in contention at the end here, or you can put yourself out of it completely. There's a couple of tee shots.
So flirted with the bunker here. It's paid off. This birdie putt to come for Tan. Tied 36 is currently -1. Oh, 360 rejection there. It's been all pars on this back 9, and somehow it stays that way. It's one of them that you're like, it's missed. Oh no, it's coming back, it's in. And then it misses again.
Tricky one back. Dispatched very nicely from Martin.
To another Spanish player. This is to save par for Iturios. Oh.
Back to 1 under par. Got it going nicely at 3 under, but this tricky back 9 is posing questions. What a birdie this would be. Excellent from Zalewska. Birdie number 9 of the round. Within 2 of the lead.
6 birdies there today. Always helps when you're towards the top of the leaderboard and you grab one of those.
Been a good effort from Hewson. You never know. Feel like she's going to have to birdie the final 3 holes, though.
So a bogey there for Nuria Turrios.
Well, you always get cosmopolitan-looking leaderboards, but you look at that right now on the first page here at La Sella Open. You've got a Australian on top with a Spaniard in second and a Pole in third. The Italian and the German yet to go out. Rudgeley setting the pace at 7 under. After Martin only 1 adrift, and after that brilliant birdie at 8, Zalewska now within 2. Par start from Carter. Lee making it 2 Spaniards inside the top 10, and there's the Vikstrom opening up with a couple of pars. Both Carter and Vikstrom starting on the back 9 this afternoon. Two bogeys and a birdie to start the round for Samantha Bruce. Well, we saw 2 of the tee shots in fairly close. This is where the 3rd of them finished.
Just grabbed the piece on that left-hand side here. Tambellini dropping one in down the slope from left to right, put for a 2. On that cut mark, level par.
Well, there's 3 players together here that are all attached to La Sella Golf Resort. This is one of them, Natasha Fear.
Has played here since the age of 8. So it's so good to be back at La Sella, and a welcome birdie there.
I think this is her first Ladies European Tour event in a while, isn't it?
Yeah, she's been coaching down in Stuttgart in Germany, but she said, you know what, I'm feeling something actually. I might enter Q School. Said she's enjoyed this week more than she thought. Obviously, we'll see what happens after Friday. It brings out some negative thoughts, obviously, when you do miss the cut. But Bronte made her first bogey of the day on 16. This one down the slope for a bounce back. Just not quite, is it? She looks really businesslike out there, and it feel like it's a fine line for Law of when it's going to start.
Yeah, you look at most of the scorecards out there, there's a lot of birdies and doubles. It's just been 1 birdie and 1 bogey for Bronte. Birdie opportunities don't get much better than this at 17. Bronte Law and Chiara Tambellini stuck at level par. The top 2 on the order of merit. Here's the player 3rd on the rankings.
Oh, and it was an inside right putt. Hit it straight. There's nothing easy about putts out there at the moment, especially when you are level par and on that cut line.
Yeah, at the moment 63 players level par or better. There's been a bit of breeze around, but It has been stuck at level par all day. Gary there, who's caddying for Bronte Law, also lives here because he is the fiance of Celine Eban.
I said, you must have been down here a bit this year. He said, Sophie, the last thing I want to do, having caddied all year and have a week off, is to come to a golf course.
Well, he's been here, but not here.
Exactly.
This is the 16th.
So you don't have to worry about that first part of the penalty area, maybe as it whips round that left-hand side, but it's another hole where it's a layup, similar to what you do on the 11th. Try and get as close to that water as possible. 240 yards is your run out. Downwind, so it's easier to get your 3-wood closer to that. And then today, the pin is 24 on and 4 from the left-hand side, so it's a 3-tier green. It's on that middle tier to the left, which brings the bunker in play. Must stress that when this hole doesn't have wind, you're in between 3-wood and driver for the average hitter, and you can't get close enough to the water, and you could leave yourself 160 to the front. But with it being downwind, you can get it close, knowing that you won't get it into the water, and then you leave yourself about 145 front. So 3-wood here for Shannon Tan.
Yeah, that's perfect. All these players we're watching, isn't it? Just they all feel like they're on the fringes, really. You know, the players like Shannon Tan and Bronte Law and Chiara Tambellini. Whereas for Houston, it's now or never, really.
Quite sure. Maybe she's not hitting her driver as well as normal. It's only 240 yards to the water. Took a little bit off that one. With these fairways being soft, you are safe in the knowledge that they won't scamper on towards the water. The further left you go, the less the water does come into play, the pond, but the more the penalty area left comes into play.
Get down, she says. No, it has comfortably.
See there, we had a hybrid, a 3-wood and a driver.
This is driver, final hole. Bronte Law. Was happy enough with that one.
Landing in that upslope there. That's why there's no release on that drive. If you hit the fairway here, though, every player should still be able to reach the 18th green in 2, the par 5.
Catching up again with Pauline Roussin, she's at 15.
Must carry the bunker short right. Right's okay, as long as it's not in the trees. We'll have to wait and see. Could be blocked out there, Tambellini. It's a dogleg right to left, as I say, so right is better than left.
It's been a very impressive day from Dorota Zalewska. Came through the qualifying score at the start of the year. And made some history on tour and also made some headlines back home by getting herself onto a main tour. Of course, we've seen it in the men's game, Adrian Maronk, and all he's achieved. One of his wins last year came in Spain, didn't it, in Andalusia.
130 pin. He's just trying to find where the wind is coming from. It should be across her. Flag front left. Just can't miss it left, really. There's plenty of room long and right of it.
I should tell you, I'm sure that this kind of performance has been coming top 25 in 2 of her last 3 starts on tour. Just outside the top 100 on the rankings. This to tie the lead for Marta Martin at 15. Lovely pace putt. Oh, inches short.
Can she find the right level here on 16, Iturios? Trying to hard draw it in there. Not quite. It's a green that rolls its way uphill from front to back. Pulling a 6-iron here, Shannon Tan. Just under 160. Maybe even with downwind, you could squeeze something a bit more out of a 7-iron. That flag today on 24. To carry it to the correct level, it's a minimum of 18 yards onto the green. He's gripping this one down. Also fanning it out to the right, onto the correct level. That's okay. I think when you look at her poor shot is so good, isn't it? It's very, she misses in the right spots.
Barely missed a fairway, barely missed a green. Rusan lurking, isn't she? 2 under. Dropped a shot over at 13, but certainly not alone in doing that. Well, we said she's got a birdie every hole.
Just over 150 for Hewson. Where Bold took more club and got a fly up.
You can see it dark in there.
18th hole, Leanne Pace, who one of her many Ladies European Tour wins has come in Spain. That was back in 2013.
Gets herself under par for the tournament.
Guarantees her place here Saturday and Sunday. Round of 68 with that birdie there. Started with a bogey, 5 birdies after that for the South African. Looks like she might be able to have a go at this one.
Yeah, because it's a dogleg from right to left, she has to play now away from the trees. She still want to drive this. Look how she's just trying to find her feet there, so she makes sure she gets ball first. Doesn't want a lot of movement in the lower half. 5-iron driven, trying to get it towards that front edge. see Bronte Law's golf ball there. The reason that she can't hit a hybrid is because a hybrid will go high and it might bring those trees into play. So she's had to try and chase one down that slope, but I mean, it doesn't happen on these fairways.
Yeah, because as much as she wants to make birdie, she certainly doesn't want to bring bogey into play when you're right on the cut line, as all three players here are at level par.
This is a superb tee shot by Manon de Roy on the upslope. Just be aiming at the thin palm tree. Too good with a second though. Sprayed that one high and right.
Well, these three have certainly performed well this season on the Ladies European Tour. Not necessarily at the best over the first 2 days, but they can just dig in. They will be around to give it a go over the weekend here at La Sella. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though, for Alice Hewson.
This is where you were just standing here.
It has to go in, doesn't it? I mean, theoretically, you could maybe make eagle up 18, but we haven't had one of those today. Whereas yesterday, we had 4. Oh, what an effort.
Super shot.
Come on. I mean, that was holding pace.
I mean, how did that not go in? I mean, that's the question she's going to be asking here. As you say, it wasn't really as if it was travelling that fast. And if that flag wasn't there, that's in.
Yeah, maybe a little bit quick, but I think you're right. I mean, Rory, why did you not tend it?
Final hole. No birdie for Zalewska. And a little bit of work still left on that one.
Turius has what you call a praying grip, so both palms are facing each other. She doesn't ever wrap her hands around. Trying to keep that blade as quiet as possible. Moving from right to left this one, a couple of cups. Can struggle with pace when you have your hands so quiet like she does. It really relies on rocking the shoulders.
Manon de Roy, ball above her feet here. Third shot at the par 5 18th. Well, that is going to make it a tough 2-putt from down there when you're on the cut line. Making a bit of a mess from a terrific tee shot.
Won't be as slow as Iturios is this, as Tan's on the correct level here on the 16th. It should still move a hair from right to left on her though.
We talked about how good a first year it's been. I mean, for a golfer to be allergic to what she's sand, dust, grass,
champagne.
Champagne, yeah, that hurts as well. But when you're a golfer and you can't handle sand, dust, and grass. Yeah, it was a good putt though. Good effort. Chiara Tambellini looking to finish this round on a high.
Ooh, just missed a landing spot. Needed to land it on the green. has had 2 bogeys in 3 holes in Turrios. At least to avoid a 3rd. So chances on 17 and 18 to come. She's level par for the day, 1 under for the championship.
"14 months since she beat Laura Funchstuck here in a playoff to claim her 4th Ladies European Tour title. Funchstuck will start the day at level par. She's out this afternoon. Oh, Shannon Tan, 3 putts. So she's another one that falls back to that cut line at level par.
Well, in golf, you desperately try to not have shocks to your system. Keep everything, like we say about Shannon, boring. So when that happens to her, it's even more of a trigger of what just happened. Laura into 18. Fancy the chances there.
Will be just the 2nd birdie of the day. Zalewska to finish the day. And that is the round of the week, a 65. What a performance from the first Ladies European Tour player from Poland. She is in the hunt for the first time in her rookie season for a breakthrough win. 2 back.
9 birdies for your low round on the Ladies European Tour. We're back to checking on the cut though for Manon de Roy. 2 putts should do it. Oh, settle down. That's okay. So it's level par at the moment, the cut line. 64 players on that mark.
Yeah, it's been pretty much stuck there for most of the day. You sometimes think, well, maybe it's going to get to +1, but it just seems to be sticking around that level par mark. Tambellini trying to squeeze out a closing birdie. That's not turning, though. Disappointing day for her. Remember, she was 4 under par after 9 holes yesterday, and will start the weekend at even.
A round of 74 for the leader of the Ladies European Tour, Order of Merit and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, 7 strokes behind the 23-year-old from Australia, Kirsten Rudgeley, player from Perth, with a 69 after yesterday's 68. Uses Valencia of one of her bases when she's in Europe, particularly when the weather's a little cooler back in the UK. Marta Martin still may yet catch her. She's 1 back, currently playing the 16th. The birdie, the 12th, has Ursula Wikström up to 5 under par. A couple of pars to start for Virginia Elena Carter. Helen Bream goes out in 20 minutes or so. Zara Kuskova with a birdie at the 2nd, moving to 3 under. One of the overnight co-leaders, Elina Numanpar, with a 75 to go with her day 1 67. It's all very tightly bunched, isn't it? Samantha Bruce has had 3 bogeys in the first 4 holes. Luna Sabron birdied her 2nd hole of the day, 11, so she has got it to 2 under par. Interested to see how Sarah Byrne goes today. First time teeing it up as a pro on the Ladies European Tour. Good round yesterday, 70. I know you spoke to her and her dad.
Two-putt par on the last for Manon de Roy. Level par, that should also be good enough for the weekend, but we'll need to make a move like Chiara Tambolini needs to.
Yeah, they might be out together again tomorrow. Those three players. Although Bronte, I'm assuming, tapped in for her birdie, 1 under. So close to that desperately needed birdie at 16, Houston.
Yeah, I'm coming down on like the tree with the 2 times.
147 back into a bit of hurt. 7-iron should be okay here for Houston. We saw from players before how you can stick it in close and it will stop. Flag today 11 on 9 from the left. Playing about 152 yards this.
Okay, get it hole high at least. Just get herself to 2 under. She'll be pleased so far, defending the title here at La Sella. Well, as you say, a little shock to the system with that par miss at 16. There's a response. What an effort that is from Shannon Tan. Should be feeling a bit better now.
I just think that's really well managed, isn't it? Because we were talking about a shock and, you know, your eyes widen and you think, well, hang on a minute, well, what will that do for the rest of the round? And she's just settled herself and hit the best shot of the day in response to that 3-putt.
This is 16.
Downwind second shot. Over the pond.
Another birdie look coming up for the French player, who's certainly back in form. Well, I think somewhere over there is Marta Martin, who I must assume, given where her playing partner is having a reload here. You see the referee is there.
I don't know where, unless she lost her golf ball.
I suppose she could have gone left somewhere and just couldn't find it, but...
Yeah, left or right, maybe.
But 3 off the tee then from Marta Martin. That's a nice little spot, isn't it? Just stick me in the shade, under the tree, couple of chairs. I assume there's a little picnic in there somewhere. I'll watch some of the best of the Ladies European Tour come round on this Jose Maria Olazabal design at La Sella Golf Resort and Spa. Well, Marta Martin, the closest challenger to Kirsten Rudgeley, but problems at 16 for the Spaniard Zaleska in the house with that sizzling 65. Ursula Wikström's picked up a shot today. Sara Kuskova's picked up 2 already in the first 3 holes. Everyone out on the golf course on that page, apart from Nastasia Nadeau. The teenage French player will start at 4 under par, and the other 19-year-old Helen Breen will also be at 5 under par. They're yet to go out. Nuria bouncing around this 17th green where Shannon Tan's got a wonderful opportunity for birdie to come.
Got some bling on there, hasn't she? Lovely diamonds. From the right to start with, and then straightens up from left to right at the end. Hasn't hit it. You can see her kind of hit the top of the ball there. I keep saying it's a difficult grip to use on slower greens. I mean, these are just over 10 on the stimp.
Well, a couple of great efforts at 16 and 17. But that is going to be that for Alice Hewson. Well, a lot to look forward to the rest of the season, but it's not going to happen for her this week at La Sella. Started the week in 7th place on the rankings.
So this is Marta Martin's 4th shot here on 16. Trouble off the tee, had to reload. Just under 160.
Well, it was a pretty poor first putt, let's be honest about it, but can make amends with this one.
Rolls it in for a 3. Just see that frustration building. Wasn't particularly pleased with the tee shot or the approach putt. You know, the good news here is staying on site. You can hop to the chipping green, putting green, driving range at any opportunity. I actually saw Laura Beveridge out there chipping earlier. She wasn't out till this afternoon because she was struggling on round the greens.
Well, she missed a similar length about at the last for par, but hopefully this one's going below ground. Indeed it is. Great bounce back too from Shannon Tan. Birdied 2 of her last 3 holes yesterday. She'll be hoping she can birdie the last 2 today. And this for bogey for Marta Martin.
Yeah, and for a player that is 75% in driving accuracy, I suppose so often they're hitting drivers, and they've had to hit less than driver off 16, and it's cost her. Some effort.
But that's going to ruin the scorecard a little bit from within 1 of Kirsten Rudgeley. She's going to go from 6 to 4 under par. Back into a share of 6th place now, the Spaniard. Level par yesterday, Yana Medakova, 2 over now, so she's struggling to make the cut. That's a good save. It gives her a little bit of hope heading to the last 2. Yeah, she knows it. 2-time winner now on the Ladies European Tour, won the Dutch Ladies Open back in July, did Medakova. Her first win as a pro on the LET, won as an amateur a couple of years ago. Final hole of the day for Singapore's finest, Shannon Tan.
424 yards, par 5, but severely uphill till it gets to about 270. So you'll be hitting into that slope. Keep it down the right-hand side if possible, so you're not blocked out. That's left. It's gone.
Apologies if you heard some poor language there.
She'll find it, but we'll be chipping out.
Doing that wind light sort of the right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want
Not used to missing fairways, is she?
Cameraman start on.
Yeah.
He did look at her reaction, actually, having made that brilliant birdie on the last, and you'd have thought there'd have been a smile as if to say, OK, got it back. But it's quite a stern face there by Shannon Tan. She's carried that over onto 18, so 1 left. Hewson needs eagle, and then a bit of help from the field. Currently at level par. That's the side to miss it. Dogleg from right to left. Can't see the green with your second, but it will open up that green with the angle.
Well, made a birdie here, 72nd hole last year. Got her into the playoff. Second extra hole, down 18. Made a par to win it, but that has gone way right of the trees. It's gone the other side of the cart path there. You can see it there.
Barbara, here.
I mean...
Is that first fairway?
Yes, it is, yeah.
I'm going to hit another one, Rory.
You're good.
Well, she doesn't know.
Señalando ahí corto, pero no. Van a buscar la de la izquierda.
Yeah, well, we know it's okay, but obviously no one's mentioned it to Nuria. It doesn't say out of bounds or anything on the yardage book for it. It's pretty open through them trees. Just getting in front of it, isn't she? She's just kind of leaking everything to the right. So the tee shot into 17, the par 3, and that one there just kind of gets on top of it and stands up and then gets it underneath.
Not quite for Pauline Roussin-Bouchard, but she's there or thereabouts, and she's 2 under par, which is in a share of 20th place right now. 5 back from Kirsten Rudgeley, who's gone round today in a 69. Did throw in a few bogeys in there, actually finished with a bogey for that. But 7 under par, 2-shot lead over Dorota Zalewska. Ursula Wikström, who birdied her 3rd hole of the day, the par 5 12th, along with Virginia Elena Carter at 5 under par. They're in that group, 2 off the lead. Marta Martin now 3 adrift. A couple of birdies early on for Sara Kuskova. Latansia Nadeau now underway. Ayaka Uehara off very shortly.
Needs 2 birdies. Melachova 2 over par. Obviously in between clubs there, and said, well, I'll go for the lower lofted one to try and get it back there, to try and force that birdie.
Yeah, 100%. Allah.
Well, we saw on the back 9 at Carlton House, she's an exciting player to watch. Pauline Roussin-Bouchard. It's been a tough year really for her. She admitted there's been some real low points, but that was her 2nd runner-up finish of the season.
That sounded amazing.
Looks pretty good too.
Since she started to work with Ledbetter, and when I was on the range with her, I could see that how you hold it the wrong way round to get that feeling, and then she was holding the golf ball with her right hand and then trying to release the golf ball to get it at the right part. You kind of throw it down as you come through impacts. It just never seems to change with his relentless moves of what he goes through with all his students. Be 7-iron, I think, this for Martin. It's 147. There should be a bit of hurt in the air. Just want to make sure you cover that front bunker left. Oh dear.
Well, it's all going a little wrong, isn't it, for Martin? Hopefully that sat down.
That is a wide, isn't it?
Like her tee shot at 16, like this one was for Iturias at the last.
What a shot that is. A fizzer through the trees.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
we
great.
got it, don't worry. It's unlucky actually that it caught that bit of first cut, else it might have got a touch more chase on it.
You see she enjoyed that. Yeah, she doesn't know. I mean, we couldn't tell, could we, from where we were looking, whether that sat down or went out of bounds, but...
There's a cart path there, isn't there? If it's
Yeah.
caught that, you never know.
It's all going wrong for Marta Martin.
It's all going right, but wrong.
Yes.
What's that, 3 shots out of 4 that she's hit down the right-hand side? 3 tee shots in a row, that's sure.
Down the left side for Shannon Tan.
It's on 18.
Why have they gone down there unless she's having to take a drop?
Well, Houston's going to play first. That lie looks horrid. Sat down in the Bermuda, in the deep roots of the Bermuda. Try and dig this one out and try and get it to run down the hill.
Well, we saw it go down the left side. There are some bushes down there on that left. And it looks like they're going to take a drop back here. You saw them trying to work things out to where to play what would potentially be the third from, and they've decided on here.
I'm going to just play it safe.
Well, she's walking back down to that left bunker. That's now 242 yards to the front, but she'll have all those trees that she's hit into in a way. You can see my caddy Robin running up that right-hand side. He's going to
got some pace, hasn't he?
Yeah. Don't go yet. She's got a hole to play.
Come back.
So what they've done is they've taken a drop, penalty drop, kept it in line with the flag, which is around the corner to the left, so she'll be dropping for 3. You have to keep the line it went in line with the flag, but because it's a dogleg from right to left, this is where the drop is being taken. As I said, 242 to the front.
He's doing a good 400 metres here, isn't he? Now let's hear how out of breath he is when he talks to Shannon.
He's just trying to get her a line, isn't he?
Well done, Robin.
How far you get?
So it's 105 meters, but we can add 5 to it, adjustment.
Yeah.
So it's 110, and we just want to get just at the top of this barrel shell. Yeah. We're not shaping it, we're putting a straight shot up there. Okay? Yeah. Like, I don't care if it's like just a 9-9.
Yeah, probably 9 of them.
Anything just right about palm trees, okay?
So third shot for Shannon Tan, 242 front. Robin, who was slightly out of breath, has said it's a 9-9, 110 down the right-hand side.
Only slightly, though, I have to say. Fair credit where it's due.
See the palm tree on that left half? That's the finish line. And at 1 under par, you know, you can't afford to make worse than bogey. She won't be here for the weekend, potentially. That cut is actually coming out now, so there's now 67th spot is +1. About half an hour ago, that was 64th spot. And Turios was up right. She's now playing her third, front left pin. Great shot. The walk downhill begins towards the clubhouse now. The tee shot is uphill and then it swoops down, dogleg from right to left. And this was the easiest hole on the golf course yesterday. Played half a shot under its par.
Sophie, what's going on here? We saw her play a provisional, didn't we? Unless she lost that one as well?
No, I think it's because if you've... It's a provisional. If you found your first ball as such and then it's unplayable, then you have to go back.
Right.
So that provisional's not in play because you found your first ball. So all I can think of is it's not out of bounds, but it's unplayable.
Yeah, must be the case. So for the second hole in a row, third off the tee. What a pity this is for Marta Martin, going so well.
And she's staring double-double in the face, isn't she?
Just shows you how things can quickly unravel. And Shannon Tan facing something even more brutal here at 18. She has to do no worse than bogey, otherwise La Sella Open will be over.
And it's just not a Shannon Tan finish, is it? We saw a 3-putt from nowhere on 16.
Terrific
Then,
2 at 17.
Exactly, but I just can't stress when she walked off that green on 17, there did not look like a, oh, well, we're all right now. It still looked really quite pressurised.
Because it was a fantastic 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nearly hole-in-one, wasn't it? Hit it left, taken a drop, third to here. Now from the top of the hill, playing down to a front left pin. Needs to get down a 3 for the cut. Well done.
Okay, she's got a putt to at least try and save par. They worked it well between them, didn't they, her and Robin? Knowing where they are, what the cut line is and what's required.
And I think it helps when you have a caddy that is a golfer. It's almost like Robin took responsibility there and said, right, come on, we'll drop line of sight, because a lot of, not line of sight, in line, a lot of people might have taken 2 club lengths and then she's still got no shot.
Well, Kirsten Rudgeley's been in the clubhouse a while now, hasn't she? Be interesting to see whether she will be caught. Ursula Vikstrom's picked up one. You'll notice Virginia Elena Carter has dropped one, so she's now back in that group at -4. I suppose the story of the day really is that effort from Dorota Zalewska and that fantastic round of 65 with 9 birdies on the card.
And I think what this golf course has showed you, especially from some of the top players in the field, that it can throw you off so quickly on this back 9. It can make it quite unnerving.
Roussan for birdie. Needs to hurry. Not going to get... Yeah, there's what was it, half an hour ago we were talking that, had a couple of putts for Marta Martin. This to tie Rudgeley at the top. I mean, by the time she walks off 17, she's going to be, what, 5 shots off the lead.
And we've seen Alice Houston not play well, and you're like, oh, okay, I can see that happening. But like you were saying, Martine is playing great, and it's one shot that can just send it spiralling. And it's that one offline shot that then you stand over others, and suddenly this corridor of trees just gets narrower and narrower, and then you might try and start steering it, which is not going to help. But equally, like Iturio said last year, it's a course where you can go and get at some points. It's a great design. I mean, Ola Tharbal has obviously won a couple of Masters, and it's got that feeling that, there's at Augusta, for instance, if you want to go for a par 5, you can make an eagle, but you can also have a big number, and you feel in here, especially the 8th hole and the 13th hole, they are 2 that just take your par. Then the par 5s you can get after, but even 18 today, that front pin has been so good. That's why we've not seen any eagles, because it's so narrow at the front half of it. So hit it down the first fairway. A superb stinger got her back into play, and now we've set this up from right to left for a birdie.
Good effort. Opened up 68.70 on her way to winning last year. Nuria Aturios, 67 in the final round. Well groomed, isn't he?
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah. Shannon Tan to try and escape with a par.
There's a touch in, isn't there? That little bit of right to left.
She'll feel so good if she could roll this in. Finish at 1 under. Not to be. Bogey, birdie. Looks like a bogey finish. But she and Aturios should be around for the weekend. Not so Alice Hewson, even if this goes in.
That's where us Brits go, isn't it, Benidorm?
I was going to say that's on its way to Benidorm.
Well, where's the hen do, Alice? Not to be. Alice Hewson getting married at the end of the year, and her hen do is in Spain after this event. A few players and caddies staying on.
But she won't be playing in La Sella Open this weekend. Not to be for Hewson. Level par today, Nuria Aturios. So she'll start the defending champion at 1 under par within 6. Remember, she was within 5 shots with 7 holes to play last year and managed to win, so she won't be ruling herself out just yet.
Shannon Tan shot level par yesterday. Tap this one in, it'll be the same score today. The highlights have been the 2s on the par 3s, a couple of those. This for bogey on 18, having found the trees, taken a drop, so a round of 72 level par total for Shannon Tan.
Yeah, a bit of an up and down finish, but there will be opportunities to come this weekend, whereas this is to avoid back-to-back double bogeys for Marta Martin. That sinking feeling. Certainly no longer the top Spaniard. That's going to be Harang Lee. A couple of Spaniards going well out on the course, actually. Luna Sobron's a couple under for her round, and Blanca Fernandez, who's the elder sister of Cayetana Cata Fernandez, Garcia Poggio, to give her the full title, who's also a very good player. Blanca's just turned pro. She's just moved to 3 under. So there may be some other Spaniards as well in the hunt. And I suppose you can't rule out Marta Martin, but this is for the 5.
Okay, back-to-back double bogeys. Falls to -2 now. 1 hole to play.
Yeah, so 2 under par now after being 6 under a couple of holes ago. Marta Martin, Dorota Zalewska and Kirsten Rudgeley done for the day. You can see Helen Bream has opened up with a par at the first. Vikström's through half a dozen holes, finished 3rd at the Irish Open a couple of weeks ago. There is Harang Lee with around a 69. Elinor Sudov had a round full of birdies, but also a couple of double bogeys. Drop shot for Virginia Elena Carter, so she's back at 4 under par. Mentioned Luna Sobron with birdies at 11 and 12. And there's Blanca Fernandez as well. So up to 3 under. Trisha Chinglav has picked up a birdie at her first hole, the 10th. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players go this afternoon. You were fairly firm that you think Rudgeley will be toppled come the end of the day, whether...
I knew you'd bring that up, and I'm going to stick with it. Remember, we've just watched the end of the opening wave.
Yeah.
Especially with Ursula Vikström.
You're very rarely wrong, I have to say, Sophie. Not completely, but very rarely.
Well, Vikström's going well through the back 9. She gets through that and then try and pick some up. But we've certainly seen that this Sella golf course can offer some birdies, but boy, can it put a spanner in the works for some tree troubles out there.
Yeah, I saw Annabelle Fuller there as a 1 under par. She was 4 over par after 9 holes yesterday, so she's one of those with the forward momentum. See Annabelle Dimmicks at 1 under par as well. I think we're going to be in for a really fascinating weekend, aren't we? Whatever it finishes today.
And it's going to be tight, isn't it? That's the main thing. There's only going to be...
A bit like the back 9, tight.
Yeah, exactly. Between making the cut and the top of the leaderboard. If you make the cut, you're still going to be in with a chance this weekend.
Yeah, there's been some struggles out there today. We've seen some great golf as well. Second staging of La Sella Open. Make sure you join us for the weekend. Bye-bye for now.